The room felt staged, like it had been arranged to watch me think. Light pooled where it didn't belong. Shadows lingered like they were waiting for cues. The clock on the wall kept ticking, steady and indifferent, the kind of sound you don't hear until everything else shuts up. I was awake, too awake, the kind where sleep isn't the problem. Thinking is. My body was already braced, like something bad had happened earlier and I'd forgotten what it was. Chest tight, jaw locked, muscles holding a posture I didn't remember choosing. Nothing was wrong. That was the problem. Life was moving without me. Breathing happened. Time passed. Life doesn't need permission. It never did. Somewhere along the way, I'd decided it did. Or maybe I'd been taught to believe it, that if I wasn't paying attention, something would slip. That control was the toll you paid to keep things from falling apart, so I stayed tense, stayed alert, held on. They'd call it responsibility, but responsibility doesn't feel like this. This felt like fear in a suit and tie. It crept into everything. Work, decisions, conversations that shouldn't have weighed anything suddenly felt loaded. Even silence had expectations attached to it, like I was supposed to use it better. My body learned the routine before my mind did. Tighten first, ask questions later. At first, it worked. That's the dangerous part. You push, things move. You apply pressure, results show up. The world rewards effort just enough to convince you the strain is necessary, so you keep going. Even when the effort stops feeling purposeful and starts feeling compulsive. Life became a corridor, long, narrow, doors lined up in sequence. Open the right one, and you're allowed to keep going. Miss a step, and you're done. School, work, stability, identity. Somewhere down the line, relief was supposed to be waiting. It never was. Every time I reached what felt like a finish line, it dissolved into another checkpoint, another requirement, another version of myself I was supposed to become before I earned the right to rest. The present moment stopped being a place. It became a hurdle. I lived like a man skimming a book just to see how it ended, turning pages too fast, missing entire chapters, telling myself I'd go back and read it properly later. Later never came. There was always this background hum, not panic, not dread, just pressure. Like a low-frequency signal reminding me I was being evaluated. By who? I couldn't say maybe by everyone. Maybe by myself. Everyone else looked composed, certain, like they knew the rules, like they'd been given a script I'd somehow misplaced. I was improvising and hoping nobody noticed. That's when the thought started creeping in. Slow, unwelcome, hard to shake. Nobody knows what they're doing. We're all acting, playing roles we picked up along the way. Professional, reliable, put together. Adult, we learn the lines. We hit our marks. We keep the show running. The trouble starts when you forget it to show, when the role hardens, when the mask fuses to your face. When you stop remembering that it ever came off. I took my role seriously, too seriously, defended it, maintained it, built my sense of self around it. If the performance cracked, so did I. The game stopped being flexible. Mistakes stopped being informative. They became dangerous. I started carrying proof everywhere, proof that I belonged. Proof that I was legitimate. Proof that I wasn't wasting time or space or oxygen. The weight grew gradually, quietly, the kind of weight you don't feel until you're exhausted all the time and don't know why. I woke up already braced, like the day was a crime scene and I was responsible for keeping it intact. Every move careful, every decision double-checked, every pause justified. Even rest felt conditional, like it had to earn its place. That's when life stopped feeling alive. Not all at once, no collapse, no dramatic failure, just a thinning. Moments passed without landing, sounds registered without meaning, days stacked on top of each other like copies of the same file. I was present, technically, but I wasn't in it. I treated life like a problem to solve, like if I could just figure it out, get the formula right, the tension would finally let go. But tension doesn't work like that. It waits, and the scariest part was how reasonable it all felt, how justified, how serious. I told myself this was maturity, that this was the cost of being someone worth taking seriously. I didn't realize seriousness had become a cage until I noticed how afraid I was of stepping outside it. Because if I wasn't in control, if I wasn't managing things, if I wasn't holding it all together, who was I supposed to be? That question didn't come with an answer, just a quiet pressure behind the eyes. So I ignored it, kept moving, kept performing, kept pretending the wait was necessary. But late at night, in rooms like this one, when the noise died down and the clock kept doing its job, something kept leaking through. Life wasn't waiting, it wasn't asking. It was already moving, and whatever I thought I was controlling, it didn't seem to need me. That was the first crack, small, unremarkable, impossible to undo. And once you notice it, the story doesn't play the same way anymore. I'm not saying I figured anything out. I'm not handing you a solution or a clean takeaway you can use to optimize your life. That would miss the point anyway. This isn't advice. It's a pause, a moment to notice the weight you've been carrying so long it stopped feeling optional. A chance to ask whether all that tension is actually holding anything together, or if it's just something you learn to live with because no one ever questioned it. You don't have to drop it tonight. You don't have to change anything. Just notice it's there. That's enough for now. If this felt familiar, if something in it stayed with you longer than you expected, that's not an accident. It means you're paying attention, and that's rarer than it should be. Thanks for watching.